What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Shep's Garage video. Today's video is going to be an interesting one. Today we are doing my first ever point of view driving video, and why not have a better car to do this video on than my car, my 2022 Volkswagen GTI Mark 8. If you're new to this channel, this is my daily driver, my favorite car, my first car, the everything. And today we're going to go and drive it on my channel for the very first time. I'm going to explain everything, what I've done to it, why I've modified it, why I love this car so much, why I chose the GTI, the everything. So let's get outside. Let me walk around this car for you guys, just in case if you don't know. Now, I am filming this on my brand new Insta360 Go X3. So this is how I'm able to film this safely. Insta360 is not sponsoring this video. I bought this own product with my very own money, so to film these types of videos for you guys. So this is my GTI. As you can see, if you are a GTI enthusiast, you know that this is not how this car comes from factory. There are a bunch of aftermarket add-ons in this car that, you know, I've done myself. I'll walk through those for you guys, but it's a 2022 Mark 8 GTI SE trim, so it is the middle level trim. It has the leather seat package. So far, what I've done to this car is a ECS valved catback exhaust. I've done the Golf R wing. I've done these really cool Audi style rotor wheels. They're called the Alzor style 628 wheels. They look pretty cool in my opinion, and it's running on Pirelli P0 all-season tires. Alright, all-season tire. It's lowered on H&R lowering springs, and I also do have 10mm spacers in the front and 15mm spacers on the rear. I've done yellow fog lights, I've done the dynamic turn signal indicators, and I've also done a new speed intake. Overall, pretty fairly OEM plus car. I don't plan to do any power things anytime soon. This is purely just a drivement and enjoyment car. Also window tints, if you can't tell. Legal limit. Don't worry. I'm not interested in getting pulled over. But yeah, I absolutely love this car. Really no complaints, to be fair. I'll get into them if I have any in this video, but so far I've owned this car for 2 years and 17,500 miles, and literally absolutely no complaints. One of my favorite cars I've ever could have chosen for my first car. As you can see, if I go into the interior here, this does have the leather seat package, has the panoramic sunroof, but such a cool car. I love the interior. The seats are really cool. The tri-tone seats, the gray, the black, the red stitching. I mean, overall, really nice car. Have lots of room in the back, lots of headroom. You can get it with heated seats as an option, and rear climate control. You have some nice ambient lighting and quality back here. It's, you know, what you expect for this type of car. But the seats are very comfortable. I mean, leather seats are a must for me. It has the Harman Kardon sound system and these really cool, like, phone pocket things. But even though this is my driving position and I have plenty of room, and well, this would be my friend's passenger position, and yeah, you have a lot of room. So pretty cool car in the back, at least. Pretty roomy in the back, perfect for transporting all my friends around if they need rides. Trunk space, as you can see, I have a lot of stuff in my trunk, but pretty good trunk space, enough for basically what you need. And what I love is that you can fold the seats down and you just have this practical sports car, which is basically what this is. Have my cloths and a bunch of other stuff back here, but so this car makes 241 horsepower and I think like 260, 270 torque. I don't know the torque figure. I'll put it up on the screen though for you guys if you want to know it. But yeah, let's get driving this thing. I have to say, I love the Audi wheels. I made a video on these wheels if you're interested in the whole specs and everything. And shut the door here. So I mainly drive in these settings. I put it in sport mode. I always turn auto start stop off, and I always use the paddles. I think the paddles make this car so much more fun. Maybe arguably as fun or more fun as a manual. Heat steering wheel turn on. Anything else to really note is, I will have a 2-year update if you guys are interested in maintenance and how this car has been for me for 2 years. But overall, I mean, I really can't complain. This thing has been a blast to drive. So without further ado, let's go and take this thing for a nice drive. So put this thing in drive, and I always drive in sport mode S, or put it in M1 and shift with the paddles, which is really fun. Now, as I said, this car isn't stock, so I'm going to be, I plan to be going through how this car is to drive modified. As you know, if you daily drive a modified car, you are going to encounter things that you would be able to do with a non-modified car, but you would also be able to do things that you can't do with a stock car. So I'll go over all those things, obviously. But I mean, first impressions when you just get in here is that you definitely, in sport mode at least, you do feel the amount of torque and speed this thing has, all the power, because in sport mode the gas and everything is responsive. We're just gonna get out of this office park that I started the video in, so give me a minute while I do that, and then we can really open this thing up. So as I said, I drive this thing in sport mode all the time. Yes, even to school, and all my friends kind of razz me on that like, oh, you're driving in sport mode all the time, you should drive in comfort, it's a daily driver. I don't care. I bought a GTI, I'm gonna drive it in sport mode because that's what a GTI is meant to do, I guess. So we're on the way to the exit right now of this office park, and we can really open this thing up. So I drive with the valves open all the time. There really is no excuse for me not to. But I do first off want to talk about one thing. I do want to touch on a couple of points in this driving video. I do want to talk about Mark 8 GTI, the way this thing drives modified, and I do want to talk about why I chose a GTI as my first car, for those people who just randomly clicked on this video. And then I'll go over if it's worth to modify your GTI and such. But stock, this car drive, I never had any complaints with the way this thing drove stock. It really drove like a really fun daily driver, really fun sports car. I felt like the modifications that I've done to it were needed to enhance the overall driving experience, because I'm that type of person that, you know, when I was gonna take this car to car shows and everything like that, so I knew that I had to somehow like kind of be different, and with so few Mark 8 GTIs in Massachusetts, I kind of wanted to have people say, yep, there goes Shep. So we're gonna jump on the highway here, and we're gonna floor it down this ramp, and you guys can really feel on how quick this car is just stock. No major power modifications done to it. So we're just gonna do like a 50 to 70. I don't know. Let's see what type of room we have here. Yeah, you can see that was basically full throttle, and yeah, this thing's quick. It definitely is no slouch. I mean, people say that you know, with a Mark 8 or any GTI, you need a stage 1 tune to make it fun. With the Mark 8, I think that definitely is not true. It is definitely still a fun car stock. Now, with the modifications I've done to this car, the exhaust, the intake, the suspension, this is how I really think this car should have came from the factory. This is how I envisioned like the Club Sport GTI that we don't get here to be. And, you know, this car, with these modifications, it really does change this whole car. We're coming up onto this exit, and I'll show you that this thing really packs a punch with this LSD transmission, or LSD, not transmission, differential. That's 45 into the corner. You can see that it is so planted, and as you come out too, you already have the power already basically down. And as you can see, there's another problem with driving a lower car is the bumps, as you can see. But that is a good transition to basically what I've done with this car and how it's affected my daily drivability. Exhaust, you definitely hear in 4th gear at around close to 3,000 RPM. There is drone. I don't find it annoying. You can easily, that's why I got a valved exhaust. You can easily close it. The intake as well. Cool turbo sounds. I don't know if you can hear that on camera, but cool turbo sounds. And then the wheels and wing, obviously, that's just show. And then the suspension, I really think, is the biggest difference of the stuff that I've done. The ride is harder, it's harsher, and if you live in a place with bad roads like me, you will feel that all the major bumps. But the big advantage to that is that the handling on this car with the LSD, the limit slip front differential, is just so much better. I mean, it is just fantastic. It was like I would say it was like a 5 out of 10 before, handling wise, because of the body roll, but with the suspension done, I would say that really transformed from a 5 out of 10 to like a 9 out of 10. It is much better. You may disagree. I think that this car definitely needs that suspension upgrade if I was to do anything. So that's basically how all the modifications affected the daily drivability. That's basically all the modification stuff done. I do want to talk about why I bought a GTI and why specifically a Mark 8, because when this car came out, it got an unreasonably amount of hate for some reason. I don't know why. I suspect it's because that, you know, Volkswagen changed this car so much, but I really think that this car got so much hate because people don't like change, and I think that the Mark 8 GTI had so much change that people were just like, I think the Mark 7 has the timeless interior, the timeless exterior. Well, I could agree with that. I would also have to disagree. The people that said that never actually like spent quality time with this car. I've spent quality time with this car. I've spent over 2 years with it, and I have to say that this may have to be the best GTI that Volkswagen's ever done. The Mark 8 GTI or the Mark 8.5 GTI will be the last internal combustion engine GTI, and it's sad, but the Mark 8 I definitely think is the best out of the bunch. One of those reasons it has to be is whatever they done under this engine when they redesigned the car. This is the same 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that they've been using since the Mark 5 or Mark 6 GTI, and whatever they done under this engine, they did some sort of magic, I don't know, but it feels way more responsive than a Mark 7. When I was buying this car, I drove a 2018 Golf R, a 2021 GTI, and I drove a 2022 GTI, this car. And this car drove so much better than either of those cars. And it had to do that. The best analogy I can really make this car is it is a Mark 7 GTI on a stage 1 tune. The way this thing is so much more responsive, so it handled so much better, and it overall sounded better too, actually. So I don't know what they did, but it is definitely more fun of a car than I initially anticipated, because I was initially anticipating this car was going to be all the hate that people said it was. But in the end, I absolutely loved it, and that's how I really ended up with this car. Is, you know, I've always wanted a GTI, and this car really demonstrated that, like, this is the most GTI of GTI you can really get. Some other things I do want to touch a point too. Obviously, you don't have to drive this car in sport mode all the time like I do. That's why I get the terrible fuel economy I get. I get about 17 miles to the gallon, so not so good. But if you drive it like a normal car, you can get. I've gotten close to 40 miles to the gallon with this car when I tried to not hypermile it, but try to save on gas. I got close to 40 miles to the gallon with this car with all the modifications. So keep that in mind too. I would definitely say that if you are thinking of modifying your GTI or thinking about getting a Mark 8 GTI, I definitely would pull that trigger. I definitely think it is well worth it. Definitely the best GTI there is, and I would definitely modify it. What I love about this car is the modifications are somewhat relatively inexpensive for what the car is, and you have amazing brands, and the modifications change the car drastically. I think that this car, without it modified, sure, it's a fine car, but with it modified, it really changes that whole driving experience. And, you know, that's what I really did enjoy about this car. So overall, driving experience, amazing with the modifications or without, but I'm amazing with the modifications type of guy. But we are wrapping up this video as we are come to this parking lot, and we are basically, this video is gonna come to an end. So that was my first ever point of view driving video. Let me guys know what you think. Did you like this video? Did you dislike this video? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Should I do more point of view driving videos? What do you want me to talk about during these point of view driving videos? Because this was mainly about driving experience. This was mainly about modifications, why I chose a GTI. But let me know in the comment section down below what other things do you want me to talk about and driving videos you guys want to see. Do you like these videos or dislike these videos? Subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.